Hello Emilijus and welcome to Swim Therapy. It's the 18th of November 2023 and today we looked at breaststroke and backstroke. Now with breaststroke we need to have a little look at streamlining, just because at the minute when you finish your stroke we don't quite get the head down, we don't quite get that streamline, so we need to check that out. We're also going to take a look at your pull. At the minute the pull goes a bit too wide when we're sculling, which creates more drag, but also you want to create a bit more of a sequence with that pull. Okay, so it's a bit more organised and keeps your timing the same. And then we had a little look at the kick. Now kick's not too bad, we pretty much have a whip kick, we need to just make it slightly narrower and just think about how we're finishing each kick. You can see at the minute that the legs just tend to dangle down, so we need to get them up nearer the top so we don't get any drag. Now first things first, streamline. So you're going to be in a streamline position, getting used to it, so you need to squeeze your ears, look straight down at the bottom of the pool. And after each kick, you need to hold that position and tense your muscles, okay? If you're tense in your muscles, you're rigid, and you're less likely to sink. Now, once we had got used to this position, we then did a little drill where you're going to alternate or switch between a streamline kick and a full stroke, streamline kick and a full stroke, okay? And in the full stroke, you're just trying your best to find that streamline position, okay? Really good. Now moving into full stroke, keywords are pull, kick and squeeze, which means you do your pull, you then kick into streamline, squeeze the head, squeeze your muscles tight. But big difference here, when you look at this breaststroke now, we're getting a good glide from each stroke, heads down, we're streamlined, and that looks a lot better than this one, where the head is up, there's no real streamlining and there's no real gliding. So big improvement from that one to this one. Just remember, if you're doing a 50, you get in and out of streamline as quick as you can. In 100 you hold it for a second, and in 200 you hold it for around about 2 seconds. We then did some work on your pull, front crawl kick and breaststroke arms. Keywords, first one is feel, which means you turn your palms out, you scull out and feel the water until you're just outside shoulder width. You don't want to go wider than this or you'll get drag. From there you pull in and drive out. So feel, in, out, feel, in, out are the keywords I want you to say in your head. Now the feel is done slowly and the in and out is done quickly. Moving into full stroke, keywords are the same, feel, in, out, feel, in, out, feel, in, out. Now looking at that pull, we don't go wide anymore. There's a clear sequence of each pull, which keeps them the same and keeps the timing of the stroke the same as well. So it's just a lot more organised, particularly if we then compare back to this pull, where we can't see feel or in or out, and there's not really a sequence to the pull or the stroke. So big difference from that one versus the pull that we're seeing here. That is good. So that's your second goal for breaststroke. Then last but not least, we did some work on kicking. Now with your kicking, you've got keywords again. Now the keywords will be, if we just get to the best point of this swim. So you got your hands by your waist, because you're trying to get your feet towards the hands so we can turn them out like that. Once you've got to that position, you squeeze the water in and then point your toes. So we say squeeze and point, squeeze and point, squeeze the water together and then pointing toes. Now try your best to make sure those toes turn out to the side as much as possible when you get to the top, and point your toes for at least 2 or 3 seconds when you're doing this, just to exaggerate it. Going into full stroke, same thing. And when we watch this breaststroke now, look at the direction of your kick and look at the finish on each kick. They stay up high, we're pointing, much better. We go back to the start. When you finish your kick here, the legs just dangle down, meaning you get loads of water hit them and you won't get as far with each kick. So that kick's a little bit more messy in comparison to this one. Tidy, squeezing the water, body position looks good. So, well done on breaststroke, much better. They're the 3 things I need you to do: streamline, pull and kick. Only ever work on one thing at a time. You can do 1 per session or 1 per hour within the session, whatever you'd like. Use the drills and the keywords. We need to build up that muscle memory now to make that natural. We then had a look at some backstroke. The first thing we're going to do with backstroke is add some rotation. Just because at the minute when you enter the water, the body's flat. That means a lot more drag, less reach, but also, if you watch closely there, you can see your hand is actually scraping the surface of the water. Which means that obviously you don't get much water out there and you don't get to glide. So rotations first, and then once we've done that, we're going to have a look at your kicking. At the minute when you kick, it's very big, it's very bendy, and you actually kick with the bottom of your foot like this. If that gets seen obviously by an official, you'll get disqualified, but also you don't get as much of a kick. So we're going to start off with rotation, which involves this drill and this position. So chin, shoulder, hip roughly in a line. You kick for 5 seconds. You then push your hip over to swap 5 seconds, and then you'll push this hip over to swap sides. Now that's how you want to look on every single stroke in backstroke unless you're sprinting. So that's why it's a really important position to get used to. Now going into full stroke, we're looking for that position, and your keywords are hip and stick. So hip pushes over, the arm sticks, so you're able to glide and reach further, because they're the reasons why we rotate. It's more streamlined, you reach further, get more water, and do less stroke. So there's backstroke. Now we've done rotation, and here's backstroke before. Body's flat, we don't really pull the water, we don't really glide. And then onto this one. Loads better. So remember those keywords, hip and stick. We then did some work on your kicking. So we did what's called the rotated kick drill. Arms by your side, you're kicking and turning till chin, shoulder, hip line up. Now you have a pull buoy between your legs. Pull buoy's there to keep the kick small and to develop what we call a flutter kick. Now you need to point your toes and make the knees feel straighter. But that's the style of kicking we want to try and get within your backstroke. We then get rid of the pull buoy and copy it. Okay, again, knees feel straight, toes are pointed, and we're kicking all the way around that circle. And that is a flutter kick. Tiny kicks. We're not using the bottom of the foot. Loads better. Moving into full stroke, it's the same thing. Knees straight, toes pointed. And when you look at this kick now, it's higher, smaller, faster, and we rarely use the bottom of the foot. Occasionally, but nowhere near as much as what we see here. Yeah, so we don't want that kick. We do want this kick. Okay. So good job today. That's what I need you to be doing with breaststroke and with backstroke. Only ever work on one thing at a time, and you've got to practice this now. If you want to keep your stroke looking like this, it's all about taking it to training and working on it. Okay, really well done, and I'll see you soon to keep making this progress on your technique. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.